Hello, Coffee Cup fans. Today I'm going to show you how to create a video background for your website. Basically, video backgrounds are short clips that play in the background of your website content. Like you see in my example, we've got some hot air balloons with a header and a navigation over it. And within the Site Designer, it's pretty easy to do because there's already an element that's configured for it. So you just pop in your content. Taking a look at this project, you can see I've got a static image up at the top. And the plan is to replace that out with the video background element. Now on the content pane, under the media section, there are two options for the background component. We've got the background video container and the full screen background video. The full screen would allow the video to go the entire canvas, while the other one allows you to do just an individual section. So I'm going to click on the element and it will pop into my canvas. And over on the element pane is where we're going to configure the video properties. You'll see that the element is made up of two options, a container element, and then within that an HTML5 video. If we click on that HTML5 video, the element properties will appear below. You can click on Add Video Source or select on that placeholder to swap them out. You can see that there's many different types of source types that are supported right now. Mine is an MP4 that I'm going to use. You can choose to link in your video option or choose a local source. Choosing a local source, it's always good practice to keep your folders organized. I'm going to call my folder the video content and add my background video to the resources. It's going to give you that message that the file is larger than 1 megabyte. It is always a good idea to optimize those large videos. It's kind of tough sometimes when it's a video, which is why I got that message. Under the poster options, you can select like a cover image, which is always good in case the viewer's device doesn't automatically play the video, or you don't have it configured to auto play. So again, if you use the local source, you can go in and select your file to add it to your resources. Once that's in place, then we have the ability to go in and configure how big we want that section to be, that container. So selecting on that parent container element and going to the styles pane, I can increase the dimensions to make that, that region a bit larger. So under the layout pane dimensions, I'm going to set my height. Let's see. About 500 pixels looks good, I think, in my opinion. Maybe 6. Let's try 6. Yeah. Now you can just drag and drop content or click it on the elements to add them into the section. All of this will just overlay on top of that video. But since I already have the content, let me undo that real fast. And I'm going to scroll back up to the original heading. And I'm going to drag and drop in my menu component and the header into that new video background region. I personally find it a bit easier to use the element tree to drag and drop content because then I can make sure I have the parent item selected when I'm moving them into the new location. So I'm going to click and drag, move these into that container. And you see that now the menu and my Life as a Camera heading is overlaid on that video. On the tree, I can go ahead and click that original header region, and I can go ahead and delete it since I no longer need that. If I hover on the canvas, I can click on that little trash can. You can also delete elements on the styles pane as well. Finally, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and just change some of the colors of that navigation menu and the header, since white, in my opinion, doesn't quite look as good on this backdrop as it did with the previous. So on the styles pane design, I'm going to change the color. Let's see, if I use my little color picker, I can actually grab a color right off one of those balloons. So I'm going to do a deep red. On the color palette as well, if you drag and drop, you can save that color. This way, going to other elements, that specific color type is saved. Make that red as well. And make that line pop as well. There, now I'm ready to preview and see what it's going to look like at all the different sizes, which will also allow the video to play as well. Pretty cool. You'll see the balloons are moving. Everything is in place on this website. And when the screen is resized, you'll notice that everything still stays in place and the video continues in motion. Now this is nice when you're using the video background container, because again, that's just a region. Now if we want to start with a new blank page, and this time practice with the element for a full screen background, that's going to make the entire canvas the video. So from top to bottom, when the viewer is looking at it in their web browser, the video will be playing behind the actual content. So just like we did before, you will go to the element pane and import our sources. And on the content pane, just so you have a visual example, I'm going to add in a heading and a couple paragraphs. And then let's test that on the browser so you can see exactly what a full screen video background will appear like. And there you have it. See, it takes up the entire screen, top to bottom, end to end, with the content nicely on top. And even resized, that video will always stay in view. There you have it. Pretty easy peasy to add these popular background videos to your project. If you're not using Site Designer yet, you can grab it from our website. Thanks for joining me in this tutorial.